to start off by saying congratulations to Lisa Ling, who just became a mom for the second time yesterday. She gave birth to daughter Ray Ling Song, who weighed in at 6 pounds, 12 ounces. Mom and baby are doing great. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Hello, baby.
She's a great girl.
She's
so
a wonderful
adorable.
girl. Yes. And we have to say congratulations to Hillary Clinton, because she seems to have hit the magic number of delegates to clinch the nomination. Forbes has also just ranked her as the second most powerful woman in the world, right behind... Yeah. German Chancellor Angela Merkel. But Clinton still wants everybody to know she is not taking anything for granted. She wants y'all to get out there and vote, as do we all. We want you to get out there. Don't just think, oh, she's cleaned it up. Get out there and make your opinions known. It's important. What do you think of this historic moment? It's kind of wonderful.
Well, I mean, you know, I was realizing that when I was a kid, not even a kid, probably in my 20s, women could not even get a checking account without their husband's approval. You couldn't have a credit card. I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
I've never thought I'd say it.
Yeah. See, now I hit it twice.
Yeah, you did.
Whoever
I never thought I'd say that also.
Never thought I'd see a black president.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's the one thing, one of the great things that both my mom and brother, after they passed away, I realized that these were historic moments for them as well. My mother said, look, I thought I would see Herbie, the love bug, be president before I see a black man as president. It's kind of fantastic. And for your generation, it's kind of an amazing thing, or maybe not.
It's amazing for me, but you know my conspiracy theory mind? I find it kind of interesting because in the Constitution, the way to vote started with the black man first and then the woman.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it moved forward. And I'm like, so are we just repeating our history? We can accept it because it's written down already. But I'm excited. What I'm interested in
But not the black woman.
Not the black woman.
That's right.
She's after.
She's not
Michelle
even on the
will come
list.
back later.
Yeah.
She'll run for president another time. She'll come back. I find it interesting because for a while we talked about Sanders not quitting because of all of the numbers. But now I find it even more. Someone in the New York Times asked him if it was sexist to actually continue the race.
Yeah.
And I say this. They nominated a black man before a woman. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
You take it out how you need to. It's going to be hard.
One question I have, though, is Sanders sticking in it because he thinks he can win, or is he trying to possibly shape her policies by holding on to the very last minute?
I think that he's accomplished that already, though. He doesn't need to hang in anymore. Bernie, go get a nosh. Enjoy your life now.
Here are the facts of the matter. I know Bernie Sanders' camp is not happy that this number came out. And I actually didn't like the fact that it came out on the eve of such an important primary. There are 7 states that vote today because it makes them feel like, what's the point of voting? It came out that she would be the presumptive Democratic nominee.
Wow.
Because a lot of people are going to say, well, what's the point of even going and voting today? But here are the facts of the matter. Just based on population and the popular vote, Hillary Clinton would be the nominee. If it was just based on superdelegates, she would be the nominee.
Everybody knows.
And if it was just based on the delegates, she would be the nominee. Those are the facts of the matter.
But those same superdelegates are the only chance Bernie has. So even though they're what set her over the limit, and that vote is not until, I think, July 25th.
Yeah, but they're not going to change.
Is it still true that Bernie will beat Trump if they go head-to-head? Is that still cool?
The numbers are not accurate at the moment. You have to wait and see what happens when she really is the nominee.
You know, nobody was paying attention, but when Puerto Rico voted
Over the weekend.
like, we didn't even know.
You know, I was reading that they had a Republican primary in Puerto Rico, too. And the guy who beat Trump wasn't even on the ballot.
No.
That's how much they enjoy him.
Wow. That's telling.
Sanders voting for Kasich.
Yeah.
That's right.
I saw that.
It's hilarious.
It's amazing. And you know, so there will always be folks that are coming out with books and stuff. So there's yet another new book on Hillary. A former Secret Service agent, the book is called Crisis of Character, claims that when Hillary Clinton was First Lady, she was prone to fits of rage and had the entire White House staff terrified. He writes about violent clashes behind closed doors, smashed vases, and the president once emerging with a black eye. Are you surprised?
Well, it was the 90s. You know, her husband is going after an intern. And of course she's mad. I would have thrown the entire set of dishes at him. You know what I mean? Of course she's angry with him. If it's true. If it's true. Because the guy has been let me tell you about the guy who
Gary Byrne is his name.
Is Gary Byrne. His position at the White House at that time was basically like a hall monitor. So he would not really have access to their personal life. Not really. So I don't know. He might be making the whole thing up. It's he said, she said.
Well, he's actually served right outside of the Oval Office, and you can't discredit a guy that is a 29-year vet of the military and law enforcement as well. But you can't. But my thing for him is
Republican.
What are his We don't know his political affiliation. I actually asked.
He's going to make when you have a #1 bookseller.
Can I just finish real quick? We don't know his political affiliation, okay? And we don't know, if there are political ramifications, what his motive was. But it sure is, the timing of it all to me and to everybody has to be a little.
Well,
we have to question.
And how about this? Since when was the Secret Service kiss and tell? And he's lucky that he didn't get hit with a vase because actually, if she was going to be pissed at anybody, I would say she'd be a little annoyed with the guys that don't say anything to her when people are coming in and out of there that shouldn't be in and out of there. I mean, look, man, you lucky she didn't kick your ass.
But here's the thing. My thing, too, is we can't discredit him. We don't know enough about this guy. But if there are black eyes involved, if there are violent encounters, should that
black
if there are black eyes,
Is there something about Bill we don't know? Is there a new thing that I don't know about Bill with a black eye?
That's not in this book, by the way. But if there are violent encounters and if there are bruises and black eyes involved, should we be concerned about that?
No, we shouldn't.
If you're the one that she's after.
I would be more concerned with a woman who was just quiet and still like this during a situation of that caliber. When she's trying to run the country, I need you to get up and go and make things happen and take care of business. Even if she has to.
You know what? If she's mad at her husband, or, whatever it is, if she throws something at him. But the thing that kills me is it's like, look, she ran for president 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You didn't have the same issues. You had been there. You were there. You were closer at that point. Now you 8 years out.
But 8 years ago today, Hillary conceded to Obama. It's good. The timing is today.
But how about that 8 years ago she was running? Wasn't she still that person from 4 years before? Oh, I see. You're right. I love how people clear it up.
Another point about this guy is that he was subpoenaed by Kenneth Starr in 1998. And he said that he had no first-hand knowledge of a romantic or physical relationship between Lewinsky and Bill Clinton.
Well, he didn't see it.
But he saw this, but he didn't see this. This is the one he was supposed to be watching, like you say.
I'm just saying, because you don't know who was in there.
The Clinton campaign is watching this, and of course the book, Crisis of Character, doesn't come out until the end of the month. It's already a #1 bestseller on Amazon. But here's what the camp is saying, Clinton's camp is saying, that Gary Byrne, the author, joins the ranks of Ed Klein and other authors in this latest in a long line of books attempting to cash in on the election cycle with their nonsense. It should be put in the fantasy section of the bookstore. What's that, Raven?
I've been saying it since the beginning.
What's the motivation?
We'll be right back with more on My Hot Topic.
Bra Brawl. Why students are going braless to protest their school's lack of support later. Hot Topics was talking female power.
I think Kim has empowered women to embrace that curves are beautiful, they're feminine, own them.
All these women at this table, they have their own beauty. Some of it is enhanced because we have people to make it happen.
I wake up exactly like this, okay?
You'll love this view tomorrow on ABC.
Welcome back. Apparently more people have active sex lives before they settle down and get married. But a new study says that people who avoid premarital sex are far less likely to divorce.
People who avoid.
Yes, people who do not have premarital sex.
They don't do the hanky-panky before they get married.
They say they'll stay married longer.
That makes sense.
Well, only if the sex turns out to be not so great.
But if you don't know if it's not so great sex,
that's
if you
my
haven't
point,
had a...
Yeah, but on the night, if it's
partner.
like, oh my goodness, the hell? That's it? It could be rough.
But
Could be
premarital
rough.
sex is the best. It's postmarital that's a bore.
Can I just say
Joy!
this report?
I mean, premarital is there's the danger. It's like adultery.
Can I just say that this report was by the
This
federal...
audience
Right.
is not with me here?
The Federalist?
Okay.
Yes.
Just me?
Yeah. The Federalist, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's so devoted today. No, I just want to say that this is a conservative site that's saying this. So we have to take that into consideration, too, because, I mean, it's changed. For the longest time throughout history, men have been, you know, promiscuous before, and it was looked down upon for the woman to be promiscuous before they got married. And it still is, but a little bit more lenient now. A little bit more, and this is a total different
care
type of
less.
site.
I think women actually care less.
Just because it's a conservative site, I don't think that you can say these numbers don't mean anything. They interviewed a ton of women in the 2000s.
They didn't interview me.
And they, well, sorry. You guys need to find Raven.
Thrown those numbers out.
And they said only a 6% chance of divorce if you didn't have sex before marriage. I mean,
Who are these people?
Well, you know, I had, I was a technical,
looking at one.
I was
looking
a
at one.
technical virgin before I got married the first time.
What's a technical version?
You know what it is.
I know what a technical version is.
Don't pretend. You all know what that is.
No,
Yeah,
what is a technical version?
Well, you do everything but that.
Ah, okay. All right.
And I got divorced. The second time, I had premarital sex for 30 years, and I'm still married.
You tested the car before you bought it.
That's it.
The very thing that's risky about younger people having premarital sex, because sometimes when I look back, I think it opens a door to emotional levels you may not be ready for at certain points, is the same reason you may need to have premarital sex in order to explore that part of yourself, how you evolve in a relationship. I think it's kind of important. So it's the plus and the minus. If you start too young, it'll work against you.
And I find it interesting, if you're going to get married after just having one sexual partner with that person, don't you feel a little left out of what you could have missed out there?
Don't you also feel special, though?
Some people do and some people do not. I've had friends who have been married for a very long time,
Yeah.
30, 40 years, and they were each other's first, and it was great. And I also have friends who have been married 30, 40 years who were like, look, this is not good for me.
Yeah.
This is not good for me. And, marriage is a funny thing. You have to be, in my opinion, and don't take my opinion because, I'm not married, and for a reason. I just feel like you have to really be upfront about what you want. I think people get divorced not because the sex is bad, really, not because this, but because they have not had the conversations or spent any time with each other. It's all that, 1 year is not really a whole lot of, it's enough time to know what you don't want. Sometimes a year is not enough time to know what you do want.
That's what Terry said on Twitter, in a way. She was like, if anything, it will help determine one more thing that you know works. A bad sexual relationship will not work.
It's rough when it's
to see what
bad.
it
I
is.
think there's
I've
too
seen
much
it.
emphasis on wedding days and not enough emphasis on marriages. Like, the point is, I think there's still a fantasy, especially among women, that there's this thing we all want, and down to...
It's my day.
Yeah, the rules, the bridezillas, and they're not stopping to think about this is a day and an excuse to party, and this is awesome, but it's about every day after that, and
But it's the planning. You think about how much planning goes into the day and leading up, and then there's no planning,
going
for
into the wedding.
afterwards.
Yes.
And I will say back to your point about, you were talking about experimenting. It's important to have those sexual encounters beforehand. Listen, I guess you could say my husband and I were technical virgins. We waited until we were married, and we knew walking down the aisle that we didn't have to worry about really any other emotional baggage. And that was special because we had waited. I was almost 25. We had waited.
How long had you guys gone out?
3 years.
So you were virgin till
We messed around a lot, though.
Yes,
What's that?
but-
A lot of technical parts.
But
A lot of technical parts. Very
for
technical.
3 years, you guys made a decision after 3 years.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But you were not a virgin until you were 25, right?
Yes, I was.
Yes,
I was
you
a
was.
virgin when I got married.
Wow, that's
Not a virgin.
You guys
A virgin.
of a virgin.
Remember our guest Trey, who came out recently,
Yes.
the Christian. One interesting thing here is if there's any question of your sexuality, it's really important that you do have premarital sex, because for him, he said he didn't know once he had it that wasn't as good as it could be, and that wasn't the right way, and to push it, and it wasn't him. So in some ways, you may discover your authentic self in some
But you know what the
exploration.
attraction is, even if you don't actually
Not
do
if
it.
you're being told your whole life.
Suppressed.
If you're told your whole life this is what you need to do,
Yeah,
then
he was suppressed for a while.
That's how I feel right now because...
Suppressed?
Yeah, because I'm told for the last 8 years what I have to do, and now I have to do it. So we're going to go and come right back with more hot topics. So, a father just wrote a blog saying he is sick of people asking him why he only has one child. So mind your business. What's wrong with having one child? People say it's selfish. What the hell? What's that mean?
They sound nosy. That's what they sound
it's
like.
self-aware, because I have to say, after having one, I always dreamt I'd have like a dozen, and then I got old and pushed one out. But as I do that, I realize where my limitations are and what I can handle. And I think it's self-aware and smart to know what you're able to do. Emotionally, I couldn't handle too many kids, so I don't know if we'll have more.
There are
Why
too
is it
many
anybody
people
else's business?
It's not, but there's so many people on the planet already. I would think you're doing a service.
No, both of you only had, Whoopi and Joy, you only had one child.
One, yes.
How many people asked you, are you going to have another?
A lot.
And
I
what
don't
did you
care.
tell them?
I'm an only child. My daughter's an only child. Her son is an only child. Her husband is an only child. We're a lonely family.
Now, Alex
No
had
one
three.
has ever asked me about it.
Nobody ever asked
No,
you.
because
They wouldn't dare.
No, I mean, it's not, first of all, it's none of your business.
Yeah, that's
But,
what the
you
guy
know,
said.
And it is. But, you know, there are a lot of reasons people have one child. My daughter has 3 children. And now there's a great-grandkid, too. So, you know, I don't know. Some people are better with more kids. I was good with one, you know, and I loved being pregnant. I didn't enjoy having the baby as much as I could have, because when I had my kid, you couldn't have anybody in the room with you. It was just you. It was just you. And very, you know, people going, why are you crying? You know, women do this every day. It's like, it's a bowling ball.
Too soon. Too soon. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Sorry. But it's like, but that's one of the reasons I didn't have another kid, because I thought, I don't think I like this.
Yeah.
I liked carrying the baby, but if I could have just unzipped and pulled her out, I'd have been much better.
I have to say, I'm jealous of some of my friends that only have one child. I always wanted 4. I think you gravitate towards, you know, what you had. I'm the youngest of 4, so I always wanted 4, but I'm not having a 4th. But those that only have, my friends that only have one kid, I mean, they get their undivided attention. And usually, it's not just easier, but I think in some ways it can be better for the child because you get more one-on-one contact.
Well, I noticed my grandson can play with Legos by himself for hours. He just can play by himself. That's one of the advantages, you know. He doesn't have, he likes playmates, but he's able to play alone.
But then you have some of those siblings who they're not even in each other's lives when they get older, and they still feel like, you know, an only child. It just depends on the person, your parents, and how you're raised and who the person is when they grow up.
This is true. I was well raised. My daughter, not so much. Anyway. I'm sorry, Al.
It's a generation.
Actually, you know what? She turned out to be, you know, my oldest grandson just graduated from high school. So all of her kids, I mean, you know, kids are funny. You think, oh, are they ever going to get it together? And they do. And my daughter turned out, because she had her first child very, very early. And everybody was like, oh, this is... But she did a great job. And then she I mean, it's a wonderful thing when they do well, you know, and their kids
She was
do well.
raised right.
She was raised a 24-year-old teacher in Texas who allegedly was having an affair and was impregnated by a 13-year-old student is out on bail and awaiting trial. Apparently, their relationship started with messages on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, should this not be, like, should there be a line drawn between teachers? Are the teachers in the same sort of field as the kids, because they're all Instagram, because they're in their 20s too?
Talking to each other constantly, teachers and students, through all of these various social media. In my day, you didn't want to talk to them, you know?
But when you were a teacher, did you ever get hit on when you were a teacher?
I did. When I taught high school, I got hit on a couple of times.
How'd you handle it? But how did you handle it?
I wasn't attracted to a boy. I mean, he was 17. I was like 23. It's not that big a deal, you know.
Imagine 13.
No, that's ridiculous. That's top.
13-year-olds are like 15, 16-year-olds now.
They're
Not giving them any credit
Don't
at
they have a
all.
lot of pimples at that age? I mean, what is their
Adults have
attraction?
pimples.
Yeah.
I know, but what is the teacher's attraction to the 13-year-old?
Because they feel, this is my theory. Because they feel like they're both on the same playing field, when you're talking to some 13-year-old, because you're tweeting and you're on Instagram, and it's not
the same language.
You're on the same plane, and so I think people lose their minds and forget these are what we think of them as little kids.
Yeah.
But 13 is not what 13 was when we were kids, not even when you were a kid.
No.
You know, not at all. It's very different.
Somebody's got to be the adult in the situation. It has to be the teacher and set the boundaries. I don't think that students should be communicating with their students, especially in private on social media, whether Instagram. I just think you have to have clear boundaries.
I think there needs to be better screening. I mean, there's so many stories coming out like this over and over again over our history. There needs to be better screening. Or, and you know I'm down for the future, put a computer screen and an electronic thing in front of them and have just security in there and let it be about school, and then you can just, you know, get rid of all that altogether. I love downloading. That's just me.
You know, the other day I interviewed Al Pacino, and he told this wonderful story about how he grew up in the Bronx in a floor of a tenement, and they were very, very poor, you know. And when he was like in elementary school, one of the teachers, maybe junior high, one of the teachers saw something in him. And Mrs. Rothstein, her name was, and she went to the Bronx. And went up the 5 flights of stairs and said to his grandmother, that boy has something. You need to nurture his talent. Is that an incredible story?
That's what teachers are. That's what teachers
we're always hearing about these molesting teachers.
Yeah.
That Mary Kayla Tornell, that crazy. That crazy one. These are the teachers.
My brother had the same issue, but the teacher said, come into my room for some candy. And my mama said, don't ever go into no room with some candy. You're a grown man. Don't do the candy.
In general, though, teachers they get a bad rap. I was a teacher. I know. It's a very difficult job.
It is not only a difficult job, and they're not paid well. No. You know, we used to have a great deal of respect for teachers. Teachers and police officers. There was a respect that we had. And they don't pay police officers jack, and they don't pay teachers anything. Or firemen. And they need to, respect. We need to give the teachers respect. We need to give each other respect, and I'll give you respect because we got to go. Okay. We'll be right back. Talking about a little bit about another sort of high school situation. High school students at a school in Montana are leaving their bras at home in protest after one student was reprimanded by the principal for making other people uncomfortable. She says as long as she's covered up, it should not matter.
You got to look at the picture, though, because I saw this picture of the girl. She put it on social media, and she's wearing a black top with the shoulder off. She had no bra on. I don't know. And you couldn't even see it in this picture because we had to crop it out. They said that the way the shirt was resting upon a piece of the chest area, you saw an extra fold. I don't know what I can say.
Yeah, you can say breast.
Okay, breast. No. It rested. Her headlights were on.
Oh.
Okay? And it rested on one of the headlights and made an extra fold, and it bothered somebody.
It bothered who? A boy?
I don't know. They didn't even say.
Somebody went to the principal and said that it made them feel uncomfortable. She said that it wasn't see-through. It was inappropriate.
He's a teenager. They're teenagers, and you can't help it.
They barely look up.
Like eyes up here.
Usually they're down there like this. They're like this most of the time, but,
Hey, Raven, can you touch your elbows behind your back?
I did that wrong.
Did you ever fall for that?
I personally would give anything not to have to wear a bra. I mean, men don't understand because
I agree.
What it feels like to have your collunes in a harness, okay? If they had to do that, they would understand.
Yeah, but you're in school, and you're under the age of 18, and not saying that there's a dress code, but I don't want to see, I shouldn't say that. At that age, I don't want to see that out and about jumping around because, I got an exciting news. Whoa, they're everywhere. underwear. Like, you need to put them down.
Oh, but make the dress code about the shirt over it, because I agree with that. But I agree with there are jokes and memes online about women going home and the first thing they do is take off their bra. It's constricting. It's uncomfortable. If I were small enough to not wear a bra, I wouldn't be wearing a bra right now. So I think the school dress code should address the outward part, so you're not seeing things flying around.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should ever have say on what you wear under your clothes.
If they're distracting and their headlights being pointed at me during a school project or something, I think that's distracting to some people because you haven't fully taken care of your emotional and understanding sexual things all the way through.
I went to an all-girls school. It was not an issue for me. I mean, it wasn't an issue. It's about the boys. Really.
Rich on Twitter says if they do that, if they require her to wear a bra, should the male students then be required to wear underwear? That's assuming that they're clean underwear, A, not turning them inside out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know, like, for my daughter, I really try to stress to her to dress modestly. And I just think, I don't know, I would hope that she would be wearing a bra under her
I haven't
clothes,
worn a bra in
especially-
40 years. Sorry. I don't like them. They're uncomfortable for me, and you know I
You can
pick them
wear a
up off the
sports
floor.
bra. You can
I
wear a
don't like
sports
no.
bra. Well,
I don't.
not you, but
I
I'm
don't
saying
like. You know,
one.
to me, it's not about that. To me, it's about my comfort. And so for me, I know what I don't want to wear to make anybody uncomfortable. So young lady, figure out how to do what you want to do without making everybody else uncomfortable. There's a way to do it. That's how you have to work it out. You know, tonight on a special edition of 2020, Robin Roberts talks to singer Bobby Brown, who will be here next week, about losing Whitney Houston and his daughter, Bobby Christina, and the people who, you know, are blaming him for it. Take a look. The full interview is going to air on a special edition of 2020 called Bobby Brown, Every Little Step, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And as I said, he'll be with us here at the table. And, you know, I can't imagine this is not the hardest thing he's going through. Can you imagine not only your wife, but your daughter as well? So, you know, there before the grace of God go we all, right? We'll be right back.
The ladies are getting their groove back in Hot Topics with help from superstar author Terry McMillan. Next. This week, The View's got the stars that make you go, just look who's coming to our house. Lionel Richie, D.L. Hughley, Maura Tierney, and Jerry O'Connell.
Hey, hey, hey.
This is going to be so much fun.
This week on The View on ABC.
Lucky enough to be in two movies that came from the mind of a best-selling author named Terry McMillan. And now she is back with a brand new book called I Almost Forgot About You. Please welcome Terry McMillan. Hey, T. You know, I want to commend you on something because I don't think people realize that you're one of the few people that always has written about powerful black women. Right. And we've seen these movies. Why do you think there's not? Why does it seem like you're the only one? I mean, we have Chandra now, but what is?
I don't think I'm the only one. But I don't think that it's important to write about victims or people who are powerless. And if they have a problem with power or fending for themselves, I make sure they find out how to stop doing that. That's the whole point.
Yeah. It's giving us strength.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we talked about on the show a lot during this year was the lack of diversity in this year's Oscars. And I wanted to just get your opinion on it, strong black woman.
Well, I have a problem, like everybody else. I think they're trying to compensate by putting us all on television. I think that we need, not just in terms of diversity, I think that we need to have more representation of all ethnicities. I don't know how Asians and Native Americans and people feel. I know how we as African Americans feel, but, and even women, you know, that we're all not skinny and blonde. No offense to anybody blonde and skinny.
I've got the blonde down.
No, but I think that when I think diversity, that's what I think about. You know, that you can be on television or be in a movie and not be blonde and white and 90 pounds.
You said that they're moving all of the black people to TV, but...
I didn't say all.
No, okay, a lot.
A lot.
They're trying to... Where's your TV show?
Yeah.
Well, I'll put it this way. You know, I live in Pasadena, and it seems that I know people in Hollywood who they seem to have been asking me about writing for television. Someone has expressed interest, someone you probably know, in turning Exhale into a series. But I'm not writing anything.
No.
And other people, I mean, you know, when you're a writer, coming up with ideas is not a problem.
Right.
Being able to see them out and play them out.
Right.
That's what takes the time.
Right.
But I can come up with an idea, and I've got some.
Right.
But I'm not interested in writing for television.
Okay.
Let somebody else do that part.
Let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game.
It is.
And I don't like anybody looking over my shoulder except for my lovely editor.
Yes.
Let's talk about your book. Your new novel, which is called I Almost Forgot About You, is what we said. It's about a woman who's going through a midlife crisis.
No, she's not. She's not going through a midlife crisis.
I was told.
Oh, I'm not. No. No. Go ahead.
It's about a woman going through a midlife crisis. It says it right here.
Okay, we'll let her
And
go.
she's trying to figure out what to do to make herself happy. So,
Yeah.
which part did I get right?
Well, I'll put it this way. She's 53, almost 54.
Yeah.
And I don't even believe in men having midlife crises.
You don't?
No, I think it's, no. No, I think they just wake up and realize that they are unhappy and that they may have missed out on some things. And I think that's pretty much what Georgia is realizing, that she's done everything right. She went to the right school, she has the right profession, and she's been a success, divorced twice, kids out of the house,
Right.
but she's bored. And so she wants to shake things up. And my feeling is that a lot of us, I mean, I don't have a job, but I know a lot of people that do, and that are professionals, and they look up one day and realize, you know, I'm sick of being a lawyer. I'm sick of practicing this or practicing that. And they want to change lanes.
Right.
And this story is about a woman who decides that she's going to take a risk. And, you know, and take a risk on herself and start to do something that's going to be more fulfilling. And especially because it's, you know, I mean, when you're 54, unfortunately, a lot of people think it's all downhill from there. I don't believe it.
No.
And so, you know, she wants to slide into home.
That's right.
All right.
Good for her.
I like that. So, you know. Is there a part in here for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see you as Wanda, honey.
Ooh, okay. I like Wanda. I've never been called Wanda before, but it is a W, so I will answer to it. Our thanks to Terry McMillan. Now, members of our audience, y'all are going home with her new novel. Almost forgot about you. We will be right back. The View on Facebook Live, and we're talking about whether Taylor Swift scared off her last boyfriend, Calvin Harris. Apparently, she jumped the gun with the marriage thing and the baby talk and freaked him out. What do you think, Ray?
Well, I think that Disney's Zootopia was just released on DVD and Blu-ray. Thanks to our parent company, Disney. Members of our audience are getting a copy.
Zootopia. Thank you. Have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view, y'all. Was that it?
No, we have
You know,
Just one time.
one time at band camp,
splitting up with...
you know, I don't think I care as much. But that's okay, because you don't need me to care. Y'all need to care because it's an interesting conversation. Does this happen to her and then she writes about it? Does she cause it to happen? See?
Can I add a subject to the streaming show, I do want to talk about Bandcamp. Can we, please?
Okay, you know what? I'm going to say goodbye now because she just freaked me out. We want to thank you for coming because we're proud to have a live audience. We are live every day, unlike very many people. We want you to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy whatever view you happen upon.